You're tuning in to Seek Travel Ride, a podcast which shares the experiences of people taking bike adventures all around the world. And this episode of Seek Travel Ride is brought to you by Red White Apparel. They don't make gloves, jerseys or flashy kits. They just focus on bib shorts, specifically ones which are going to keep you comfortable on long rides. I've recently started using their bib shorts on some of my longest bike adventures, and here is what I've learnt. When your gear fits perfectly, you focus fully on what you're doing, the landscape and the scenery, and you're not distracted by discomfort. If you've got some long days in the saddle planned ahead, whether that's ultra cycling, a long distance tour, or just some long day rides, hit the link in the show notes to find out more. Trust me, your butt will thank you. Thanks to Red White Apparel for supporting this episode.
Sometimes when I watch old videos, now if I watch videos of Guinea or Sierra Leone, I was like, oh, wow, how did I manage to do this? How did I took my bike in this road? How did I survive this? Sometimes it's you see your videos, you're oh, that's insane.
Welcome to Seek Travel Ride, where we share the stories and experiences of people taking amazing adventures by bike. Whether it's crossing state borders, mountain ranges, countries or continents, we want to share that spirit of adventuring on two wheels with our listeners. Hello everyone, I'm currently taking a mini podcast break from releasing new episodes, so I've gone back into the archives and I'm currently resharing some of my favourite conversations. This week's guest is one that I know many of you will be drawing inspiration from, and that is Meryem Belkihel. She's a solo female bike traveller from Morocco who's currently riding her way all through Africa. I first released this episode back in September 2024 when Meryem was in Cape Town, and it blows my mind to think of where she's gone since. Keep your eyes peeled in the future for an updated episode with Meryem. In the meantime, enjoy listening to this original conversation, and as I said, I'm sure you're going to draw a lot of inspiration from Meryem's travels and put it towards your own bike adventures as well. Hello, I'm your host, Bella Malloy, and I'm very excited to introduce my guest for today's episode of Seek Travel Ride, Meryem Belkihel. Meryem is a fearless adventurer from Morocco who has spent the last 570 plus days cycling across the African continent. She's heading south from the vibrant streets of her home in Morocco, and she's biked all the way down the West African coast to Cape Town. But her adventure is far from over. She has now turned north with her sights set on reaching Tanzania. To finish this adventure off, she plans on climbing the highest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. Along her route, Meryem has also explored the rich diversity of Africa, experiencing its cultures, landscapes, and its people firsthand. For Meryem, this adventure isn't just about the physical challenge of cycling across Africa, but also about an inner journey of self-discovery. Before this, she'd already pushed her limits, climbing all the 4,000-metre peaks in the Atlas Mountains, a testament to her thirst for adventure and the outdoors. I'm super excited to explore the highs and lows of this bicycle adventure journey so far, what is driving her to keep moving forward, and how she's navigating both the external and internal challenges which come by undertaking such a huge adventure. Meryem, a big warm welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you, Bella, for having me. And I'm so excited for the podcast.
I'm super excited to speak with you, Meryem. Your social media posts have given me such a big hit of what I call wanderlust. I seek them out pretty much every day to see where you've been, what you've experienced, the beautiful photos that you share. But Meryem, a question I use to start my show with, and I ask it of all of my guests, is, Meryem, do you remember the very first bike you ever rode?
Yes, it's quite funny. So I used to cycle a lot, but just in the city with the mountains bike and everything. But my first bike trip was in COVID time, because in COVID time I live in Casablanca. So Casablanca was in red zone. You cannot get out or get into the city with a bus or car. So I said, okay, I have a bike and I have some bags. So why not traveling with the bike? So let's see if it's gonna work. And yeah, I took my bike and I went to the Atlas Mountains. That was my first trip. So I went high. So I said, let's see. And yeah, that was my first trip.
What an experience. Can I just say, we have an expression in English which is diving in at the deep end, which is sort of like, when you're learning how to swim, it's like just going straight for it. For a bike traveller to all of a sudden your first trip to be high up in the Atlas Mountains, to me feels like diving in at the deep end. As a Moroccan, did you feel that it was a big deal to be going there for your first trip, or was it just, I'm going to go there?
So for me, I like mountains. And I used to hike a lot. And for me, for the first trip, when I was asking my friends, my cycling friends, they were, okay, just follow the coast, go for Agadir. It's more easier. They said, no, I have to start from the hardest level. So anything after this, I will say, oh, this is easy, this is easy. And so I said, okay, everyone telling me, no, you cannot do, it's not you cannot do this, but no, start with this, it's easy, start with this. And this. Why these people are telling me that start with the easy things? I don't want to start with the easy things. Do you think I'm not strong enough to go to the Atlas Mountains with the bicycle? So, okay. And then I started, that was my first journey.
How did it feel then? Like, did it feel like you were doing the hard thing when you were there on that first trip?
Yeah, it was not easy with all the luggage. I'm not used to travel with the luggage, and the high Atlas Mountains are high. So yeah, it was not that easy, but it was nice. Every day was so exciting for the new day. And I'm also from Morocco, so it was people when they saw me, they were, oh, you came from bike from Casablanca. Oh, that's crazy. Oh. So it's always nice to see the locals like, yeah, it was nice. And I was sharing this in the social media and people were so happy about this.
It's something that struck me. Listeners to the show, you may have noticed that I often highlight the stories of women on the podcast. And I do that on purpose. I like to showcase what women are doing out there and that women are taking bike adventures. And Meryem, I discussed this briefly before I pressed record with you. You are the first African woman that I am highlighting here on the podcast. I highlight women who are a small percentage of bike travellers, sadly, and I imagine as an African woman, you're even a smaller percentage still. Have you come across other African women who are undertaking travel or adventure in this form?
Yes, there is African women, not that much, but yeah, there is some girls. Yeah, it's not easy for us as African for many things, the culture, for also getting the visas. Yeah, it's not that easy as African to travel. Every one of us have specific passports. You have to deal with the visas. If I told you as African now, I have problem to get to some East African countries, and the European people, they can get easy. So just to tell you, I couldn't get to Lesotho because they don't have a visa, and it's hard to get the visa for Lesotho. And I'm now dealing to get to Eswatini and also Mozambique and Botswana. So hard to get the visa as Moroccan. So there is lots of things that make hard for Africans to travel. For example, even if we are not talking about cycling, for African to travel like from African country to another African country, it's very hard to get cheap flight tickets. The less expensive one from the two countries, neighborhood countries, is €600.
Which is insurmountable before you even start for many, many people. It's a theme, sadly, that's come up with a few of my guests who've travelled through Africa before. And actually, a lot of my guests who've travelled extensively to other regions in the world as well is a lot of times people finish big bike tours and what starkly hits them when they're reflecting back on things is this deep sense of privilege. And something that's come up a lot has been even the privilege to travel across a border is a huge thing that many of us don't realise is a thing. I'm an Australian, I have an Australian passport. It's amazing. It gives me the ability to travel to many countries without a visa. But, you're talking about your difficulties there. You've got this plan to do this big trip through Africa, but you're also having issues just even getting a visa to go into a country there.
Yeah. Like for now, I said, okay, maybe when I finish this journey, I can go from to Cape North. So I can say that I make also Cape to Cape, but it's hard for me to get the visa. So yeah. As African, it's not easy to go to other countries. So that's why we have lots of challenges as Africans to travel. I'm not talking just about me, but I'm talking about all the African countries. And the money is not strong. So if you get out, your money is worth nothing. It's not like African, we don't like to travel, or it's just very hard. You have to work very hard for it.
A lot of people tell me, especially when they're travelling through Africa on a bike, all of a sudden they're the centre of attention wherever they go. I imagine this happens to you even more so because A, you're a woman and you're an African woman doing this as well.
Yeah. And it's, for me, it's also, I'm getting some privilege for being African. In West Africa, every time I go to the borders, I said, oh, I'm African, Morocco, and then oh yeah, African sister, you are my sister, you are African. So they are happy to see also African people like traveling the same way that European people are traveling. So it's kind of helping me so much. I'm not lying to you. And also because of the football, because we play in the African Cup and everything. So it's helping.
And West Africa, I think you had it easier in terms of border crossings and visas, didn't you? It's now that you're travelling up the eastern side of Africa that the difficulties have come for you, haven't they?
Yeah, for West Africa, it was easy. For mostly a lot of countries, I didn't need visa, or it was easy visa. But from South Africa and the countries I'm going to, it's kind of not easy for me as Moroccan to get the visa, and that's make you very stressful because if you ask me what's next, I don't know because it's depend of the visas, if I will get the visa or no.
I like to think that I view people's adventures with such an open mind that I take in the ideas of what challenges they're about to face, but I have to say it sort of didn't occur to me that these sort of visa issues could potentially stand in the way of you even going the route that you want to take through Tanzania.
Yeah.
It makes it, to me, even more remarkable what you're choosing to undertake and what you've started. We're going to go into the details of your bike tour very soon, but it would be remiss of me, Meryem, to not talk about the previous adventures you've done. I mentioned it in my introduction. Hiking and getting to the top of big mountains, that's obviously been a passion of yours, hasn't it?
Yeah, I like mountains, I like hiking, and I used to hike lots before starting cycling. As you said, I climbed all the 1,000 peaks in Morocco. I did the crossing of the High Atlas Mountains with a friend for 1 month without a guide. And yeah, we finished it in the highest peak in Morocco, Chubkal. I love mountains.
I'm interested to know, was it that first trip that you took during COVID to the High Atlas Mountains that started this idea of transitioning from being a hiker to, I want to go on a bike adventure?
So I will tell you something. Like before buying the bike, I cycled in the High Atlas Mountains for my first journey. I wanted to do this journey, like going through Africa to Tanzania to climb Kilimanjaro. So I had the idea. I didn't have the bike. I'm so small. I couldn't buy a small bike for me. I didn't find it, but I had the idea to do this. So it's kind of, okay, I will get the bike and then I'm going through Africa. This first journey was because everything was closed with COVID. The borders was closed, so that's why I did this. But the idea for me, it's not like really start cycling in Morocco and for COVID and then going back. But I knew that I'm going to do this journey, so it's not like switching from. I like cycling before, but I didn't used to travel with my bike. For me, before this, I used my bike to go to the work, and also I used the bike to go to see my friends, even if they have cars and they always asking me, we will pass you so we can go to this place. Oh, no, I'm coming with my bike. And I like cycling. In the city, I go to the forest every time, but I knew that I'm going to travel, but I had no idea about traveling by bike. I had no idea about how to travel with the bike, what the gears I need, if my bike is going too much with this. So when I bought this first bike, which was not on my size also, I'm so small and...
small person on a huge trip.
Yeah, small. Yeah. Everyone said, oh, you are so small. Everyone, you are so small. I didn't expect that you are so small. I said, yeah, I'm the smallest one you're going to meet. But it's not about the size.
Definitely not. Look where you've gone. Amazing.
Yeah.
You were saying you had no idea about travelling by bike, all the type of equipment, what it would undertake, but you still had that dream regardless.
Yeah, I had no idea, but for a long time I was saving money. I was sending money to another bank account of mine so I don't use it. I'm telling you, okay, this is for Africa. So when you want to search, you will not, oh, I don't have enough money, I don't have this, so I need to save some money, I need to buy all the gears I need. So, and when you start making this small journey in Morocco with my bike, I said, okay, I need to change this. I started to watch YouTube videos, and I was reading a lot of blogs, having more and more idea about this like kind of traveling with the bike. So I said, okay, I like what I'm doing. Like, yeah, when I went for this first travel with the bike, I like it, I enjoy it. So I said, yeah, this is something like fun. It's not like I will regret it after, because yeah, if I said I'm going through Africa, it's going for lots of kilometers, lots of countries, and I don't like to like go in there and then say, oh no, I don't like what I'm doing here, let's go back.
Riding your bike, it's something that you enjoy doing. So you enjoy riding bike, you enjoy traveling, you're enjoying this journey. What about off the bike? You're camping as well. How much do you enjoy being in the outdoors?
To be honest, with you, I like cycling, I like hiking, I like meeting people. I don't like cooking. Kind of, yeah, I like, but yeah, for me, like for West Africa, I think I use my stove just for the coffee or for the Moroccan tea. But for the food, never, like cooking pasta or rice. No, I don't do this. Every village you go, they have the local foods. Okay. Even for something that I don't eat, I just see, okay, they are eating it. Why I'm not doing this? So just give me what are you eating? Is this good? So now I eat everything. So I'm not like, oh, I don't like this. So I don't like that. I start to eat everything. So I don't cook. But yeah, I enjoy camping. I enjoy wildlife. I enjoy looking for wild animals. So it's kind of mixing everything. It's not just about cycling or, yeah, that's why I said I'm going to Tanzania to climb Kilimanjaro, but I will mix everything. Going to Tanzania with a bike so I can cycle, I can meet locals, and I can discover and the different culture of African countries. And also, like, we have something we say in Morocco, like, I think ever in English we said Mama Africa. So it's because of the woman, like the mother, it's like the most important things of Africa. So I wanted to meet more women from different countries and see how they are dealing with their life and how they live, how it's different as my culture. So yeah, that's why the main reason for this journey, not just about cycling or...
Like the bike is the way to get there. And you enjoy riding, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's about everything that happens in between and all the things that you're experiencing. I would love to learn about some of those experiences you've had with some amazing African women. I know saying that question out loud, Meryem, nearly seems impossible when, 570-something days on the road. You've met, I'm sure, over 570 amazing African women, right? If I was to ask you even the first interaction you can think of, an experience that you've had that's really shaped and touched you there, what would you tell me about?
So maybe I will tell you about a woman in Guinea. I was in the mountains of Guinea, some off-roads, and it was in the beginning of the rainy season. It was hilly, and they see that the rain is coming. And I arrived to one village. There is a small shop, and I asked them about the road to get to the other village. They said it's still far and it's hilly also. So I said, okay, can I sleep in the village since the rain is coming? And if there is any place where I can put my tent. So this woman, she came and she said, oh, yes, you can. She don't speak French. She speaks just the local language. So she opened her house for me. I put my bag and she gave me a room. And she gave me dates and juice. She wanted to give me everything. And then she gave me a good room. And I went with her to the shop. And then we were sitting and everyone came from the village. She said, this is my new daughter. You see, this is my daughter. And she was hugging me and it was so sweet. And the next day I want to leave. I want to give her some money. She said, no. You are my daughter. You cannot give me my money. And her son took my number and she's always sending me messages and always kind of her son texts me. She said, my mother told you, where are you now? And yeah, it's kind of lots of experience like this. It's just one example of lot of experience.
People that don't know you before you arrive there just open their door and take you in as one of their own family.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea that this is the sort of experiences that you would gather from this journey before you left Morocco? Did you have any idea that people were going to be doing these type of things for you?
I had no idea, no expectation. I was reading some blogs, and yeah, people, they said that people are nice, but they were like tired of people all the time because, as everyone said, in Africa, you are never alone. I didn't search lots about the details of this journey, how it's gonna work, but I know that people are nice, but yeah, it's still a wild journey. Like you cannot have a point about what's gonna happen, how people will treat you, or what kind of experience you're gonna have in this journey.
You know, when you were talking about in Africa, you're never alone. Have there been times where you've just wanted to be alone, where you've just wanted to have your own space, no one around you, you can just be Meryem, be on your own?
I will tell you something. Before this journey, I got an offer to go to another continent, be sponsored to go, and then I choose to go to Africa even without sponsor because I'm looking for the human experience. So for me, I'm always happy. Sometimes I have to tell my stories 20 times. If you stop, there is every time someone who will come to you and say, oh, from where we are coming? Morocco. Morocco, with the bicycle. Yes, with the bicycle. No way, this is this. And you have to tell your stories like lots. But for me, I enjoyed the reaction of people. It's my favorite time. It's seeing the reaction of people when you tell them that you are coming from long journey, and I think sometimes you are tired of it, but for me, I'm just enjoying it. When you are sick of people also.
Yeah, and you've been sick on this journey as well, haven't you? You've had malaria?
Yeah, I have. I got 4 malaria.
4, wow. 4 times.
Yeah. For the first time, I had since Dakar, I had a problem with one of my tooth. So I had an abscess on it. So in the first time, I got pain on this tooth. So for me, it's my tooth problem. I kept cycling with it for 2 weeks. And for me, it's my tooth cycling. And then in one day, I knew that it's not the tooth problem. Like it's kind of malaria. And I said, okay, time to go to the hospital. I was with another cyclist. And I went to the hospital, and then I went for the test, and the doctor, he came and he said, oh my God, you are cycling with this kind of malaria. I said, oh, yeah. Do I have malaria? He said, do you have malaria? You have lots of malaria. And he told me, come to the laboratory, and he showed me in the how much parasites I'm having. And he said, this is crazy. Like, do you know how much parasites you have in your blood? He told me, go back to the hospital so they can show you what to do. So I was so tired in this time. So, and it was raining, and I went to the first hospital. They sent me to the second hospital to make the test. And then this hospital, they sent me to the other hospital so the doctor can give me the medication. But it was very hard. I was vomiting and I couldn't smell the food. Like if I smelled the food, wow. It took me 2 days. And the third days, I said, okay, I need to go to Ivory Coast. So I was with another cyclist, Thomas. So I said, okay, let's go to the Ivory Coast. And I didn't want to take a bus. I ate the medicine in the morning, and then we cycled. It was 150 kilometers to Abidjan. And then it was very hard. In one moment, I just sit down next to the road, and I think I was sleeping or crying, or I don't know. I feel like, I didn't feel anything. I couldn't move. It was very hard. And then we arrived to one village, and he was looking for something sweet to give it to me because I couldn't eat. And it's been 3 days that I'm not eating. So there is another guy. He said, oh, you can give her an energy drink. So I said, okay. He gave me energy drink. And then 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, it was like I was lying. I was flying in the road. I just put my playlists, and I was cycling, I was just crying with this malaria. Every time telling me, oh, this energy drink, they have to make...
Wow.
Yeah, but the malaria, it's not a joke, yeah.
Is it something that you were concerned about before you set off, getting malaria?
Yes. So I knew about the malaria, and the friend of my father he died because of the malaria. So for my dad, he was going to the countries where the malaria it is, it's not go. No, not go in. So I knew that it's very dangerous, but I was saying with some friends in Dakar, they are doctors, so they said to me, if you have this symptom, it's malaria. So don't play with it. Just take the medication and everything gonna be okay. If you don't get the medication and you stay with this malaria, it can kill you. Just you have to be very careful. If not that you having some of the symptoms, it's, oh no, it's kind of no, I'm just feeling tired and just this is very dangerous. But if you take the medication in time, go for the test in the time, it can be okay.
When you were talking there about your father not wanting you to go to countries where there is malaria, I want to backtrack then to before you took off and what your family actually thought of you taking on this journey.
Yeah, so my family, they know that I'm crazy and I'm adventurous. It's kind of, I was preparing them for a long time, so I'm going for some crazy adventure in Morocco and here, start cycling. Even took 1 year cycling around Morocco, so they know that I'm doing. Yeah, they know that nothing can stop me. So they were supportive, so yeah, they know that they have to deal with.
Listeners, let's talk saddle comfort for a second. If you have ever squirmed through a ride because your bib shorts weren't cutting it and you were so darn uncomfortable, gosh, do I feel you. I have been there, I have suffered through it, and it is the absolute pits. Well, our sponsor, Red White Apparel, make bib shorts which have really changed that for me. I've been riding in them recently and they just work, even in the heat, even on long climbs, hour after hour. Plus, they're pee-break friendly, which is a huge bonus when you're touring, and I would say, as a woman, an absolute non-negotiable when I'm looking for bib shorts. Check them out. I have a link to their website in the show notes. Hit it up and support the brands that support the podcast. Okay, now back to the episode.
Been crazy child.
I don't know that I would use the word crazy to describe you, Meryem. I'd use a lot of words. I'd use tenacious, I'd use inspirational, adventurous, definitely, with a capital A. I feel like you have a real zest for life as well. That really comes across in what you've shared. You know how you were saying you really love human connections and learning more about people, and you wanted to experience this about your journey. What about the nature side of things? Because I sort of think when someone plans a journey as big as the one that you have planned, it's obviously logical to think about milestones along the way. I would like to know, what are the sort of natural milestones that you were looking forward to? What were you looking forward to seeing with your own eyes? What sort of landscapes and places were you really looking forward to before you set off?
Yeah, for the nature, I like mountains, and it's always good, and it's always to see new scenery, new landscapes. How can I say? Yeah, it's always good to see this, but for me it was kind of, I know that the nature is nice, but for me the most important thing about this journey was about the human experience and also about the wildlife, like seeing the wildlife that I was seeing just in the TV and the magazines. So it's kind of, I was always looking to see the wildlife and the human experience. And yeah, the nature is always good when you go and you say, wow, this is like insane to see this kind of waterfall, these mountains, the different landscape from a country to another country. It's kind of make you feel very grateful for these planets.
And it really struck me that just the different landscapes that you would have experienced. We were talking a lot there about Morocco itself and the beautiful mountains in the Atlas Mountain range there and the high Atlas Mountains as well. And then you move straight into the Sahara. So you're in a pure desert environment, but then you're through rainforest as well as you travel down through West Africa. You'd have rivers and the coastal environment. Namibia would be next level, total different, open, vast landscapes and deserts again. You get to see so much of beautiful Mother Nature change along the way, haven't you?
Yeah, lots, from a country to another country, just sometimes it's just less than 200 kilometers and you see that the landscape are changing. The rainforest is just crazy, and when you see all the trees and everything, but also this make you feel sad when you see how they are just cutting the trees and how lots of things is happening in the rainforest and the nature and how you see lots of things, and it's when you start to see that's why the climate change, but you see a lot.
Miriam, it's got to be really hard to be travelling through such beautiful landscapes and then, on the other hand, being hit with just how much environmental sort of destruction you're sort of seeing in different places as well. The environment is something that I know is very special to you. I often think when people take huge journeys like this, you also give yourself the gift of time to take what you're seeing in and think about it. How did you find it impacting you, seeing this environmental destruction?
It's very hard to see this. Like, for example, I will tell you in Cameroon, I was with Thomas and we went like deep in the rainforest where they cut the trees and they sent it outside of the country. It was like very, very heartbreaking to see how they make this. It's very bad even for people there. They said now it's kind of, they have the rain all the time and it's kind of, they are impacting also by the climate change, by having lots of rains every time. Lots of things happening like make you feel very bad about how the planet is like suffering from humans. And it's kind of not just these people, for example, for Cameroon, that they are taking all this kind of trees from there or from Central African Republic. It's also for us, we consume lots of things. Sometimes you buy something that you don't need because just you find it's beautiful, and then it's make you being consuming a lot. So they make people producing lots of things just because you find it's cute or beautiful. You are buying this and you don't know that there is lots of things happening about this, but this is the bad things about capitalism. Like, it's another topic, very big, and it's very sad to see what's happening in this planet.
It's something that a lot of fellow bike travellers often talk about too, is this lesson that they learn when they're on the road of not needing a lot of things and owning stuff, and that fast fashion and consumerism and always having to buy new. I guess when you live off a bike, off very few possessions for, years at a time, you realise you don't need much at all, don't you?
Yeah, there is a big difference between my first trip and now. Like, my first trip, even if it was for a small period, I was carrying a lot of things. But when you have more experience, you're like, every time for me, I sit and I'm like, do I really need you? Did I use you in this last 3 months? Why should I carry you if I'm not using these things a lot? It's make you always think, and it's impacting, I think, also for the in our like daily life. For example, if I go back home, it's gonna be working like this. Why should I carry this? Why should I buy this?
I need to ask you then, what is something that you've brought along that you, at the start of your journey, that you got rid of? You go, I didn't need this at all.
Ooh, there is lots of things. I don't have something in the mind, but there is lots of things that I took with me in the first day, and I said, okay, I don't really need you. I don't have something specific in my mind.
That's okay. I want to then ask you something the other way. What's something that perhaps you don't really need, but you find that you're keeping with you anyway?
Sometimes I have lots of this kind of camera and accessories. Like, I have, for example, something, and then I have extra ones, and I'm just carrying them for a long time. And I was like, no, maybe I will need this. Maybe I will need this. I found myself that I didn't need them. And in the big cities, you still can find these items. So, I think it's time to send them maybe back home because, it's still some extra weight.
It's got to be a tricky one to manage because, listeners, I've mentioned it a few times. Meryem is documenting and sharing her story. I've been following her story play out on Instagram, but Meryem, you also have a YouTube channel where you share how your travels have been so far. So it has to be really hard to then balance the need for camera and electronics when you may not use them much, but then I imagine there's times when you would use them a lot.
Yeah, I think trying to document all your traveling it's kind of make you carry a lot of weight. Like I'm carrying a laptop, I have different camera, and you have to keep extra power bank for charging. So yeah, it's not easy to travel and in the same time to make videos, to share your adventure in the same time. Kind of hard to manage all of this.
With making videos of what you're doing and putting that all out there, when you're editing them, do you ever have those moments, in English we would say pinch me moments, where you're watching what you've done and you're looking back on it going, wow, did I do that? Do you ever have those moments?
Yeah, sometimes when I watch old videos, kind of now if I watch videos of Guinea or Sierra Leone, I was like, oh, wow, how did I manage to do this? How did I took my bike in this road? How did I survive this? Sometimes it's kind of, you see your videos, you're kind of, oh, that's insane.
Where's the country where you had the hardest experience in terms of physically actually being able to keep moving forward because of the road conditions?
For me, I don't like to take main roads, so I'm kind of more off-roads and gravel roads. Since Guinea, it was the beginning of the rainy season, and I'm telling you, since Guinea, every country I crossed, it was in the rainy season. It was raining. Even in South Africa, I came to to Cape Town, it was raining non-stop. But I think Cameroon was kind of challenging. For the Cameroon, it was not easy roads, and I also got sick in Cameroon. I got some teeth infection, and I had to make injection every day, so it was and they didn't want to stay in the same hospital in Cameroon, so I was waking up at 6 o'clock, going for antibiotic injection in the morning, 6 o'clock, and then riding in the bed roads, and the evening going for another injection, and then waking up the next day for 4 days. It was like my plan for a week, but Cameroon was very bad roads.
Can I just say, there's two things. One, I cannot imagine being that sick in a country that's not your own and having to just even figure out how to get medical help, right? But then away from all of that, I can't imagine what it's like to be constantly in rainy season on a bike adventure as well. Cape Town, you're talking about, it rained there. It's not a place, Meryem, where I even think about rain.
Yeah, for me, I want to enjoy the sunny days, and then so, it's winter in South Africa now. Like, why always me? I want a break from rain.
Yeah, and of course, rain on roads that are dirt and off-road, that means mud, right?
Yeah. But like here in South Africa, likely it's not bad roads, but in the other countries, it's a mud. Like you are swimming in the mud.
Oh, I bet the first time you were able to actually have a shower and be clean after days on the road in the mud, that would have felt amazing.
Yeah, the shower is always good after muddy days, and it's humid and hot, so you always enjoy like this shower time.
Meryem, something you mentioned earlier was the idea that you were really looking forward to experiencing sort of wildlife encounters on your travels through Africa. And it's something I feel goes hand in hand with someone being in Africa. I think of Africa and I think of many things, and wildlife is one of the first things I think of. I'd love to hear some of the wildlife encounters that you've had on this journey. Moments where you have, again, gone, wow, did I just experience that?
So, okay, I will tell you, in the north of Namibia, I took some gravel road, and before I slept next to the police checkpoints. And the police, they are locals, and they asked them about the road. They said, this is the road, it's bad and everything, and in this area, there is lots of lions and elephants. So you have to be careful, sleep in the village, and don't move early in the morning, and don't move after sunset or 1 hour before sunset. So I said, okay. So it was very windy day, the day I want to leave. So I was with this police, everyone telling me how can I react if I see the elephants, and how can I react if I said, if I see the lions, what should I do? So, my friend, you have to just pray, and then that's it. I cannot tell you. So I took my bike, I started cycling, I arrived to the first village. I said, it's so early, like I'm not stopping at 3 o'clock. So, and then I asked the people in the village if the road is fine. They said, yeah, it's fine, but sleep in the other village. It's kind of not far from here, and don't move early in the morning. So the same thing that they say in the police checkpoint. So the information is the same. So yeah, I start cycling, and then I met one Himba people, and they asked them. They said, okay, you can sleep in the house there. So I went there. I didn't see the house. I start cycling. I see that the houses are in the mountains. I said, okay, I will find another house. In Africa, it's always you find some houses in the middle of nowhere. So I was going, and I didn't find anything, no, nothing on the road. So then I said, okay, it's kind of sunset now, so I need to just find a place to camp. So I went to the bush, put my tent, eat my food. I put the food far from the tent, and I was so lazy to make a fire. So I just went to my tent. I had internet. I was talking to some of my friends, and then I started hearing like something next to the tent. I was like, "Oh, it's my time. It is the day." Like, yeah. And I was like, "They told you don't sleep in the village. Why, you silly girl? You keep cycling even if you pass the first and the second village." So I said like, "Oh my God, what should I do?" And I just was googling, "What should I do if there is lions or elephant next to my tent?" Finding some funky information, and I asked in the cycling group in the WhatsApp, and they said you didn't have fires, and I'm, okay, no, so just don't panic and stay in the tent, don't get out. So I just put the lights on my tent. Yeah, and then for me, I don't know what is quality or no, but for me, if I feel sleepy, I will sleep even if there is a danger next to my place. So I just slept like a baby, and I wake up, I think, at 3 o'clock. I needed to go to the toilet, so I went out from the tent, and then I went back to sleep. And in the morning, oh my God, what just happened yesterday? And when I get out from the tent, I saw lots of footprints next to the tent. So it was quite an experience.
So hang on, was it lions that you were you even aware of what was around you? Oh my goodness me. I cannot tell you how I feel just hearing that.
Yeah, it was the first time that I really feel scared while sleeping, because, you don't know how they're gonna react. I have no idea about what's gonna happen. So I was like, I hope I will not die today. I'm still want to reach Cape Town, eat some good food. Yeah, but it was at the same time funny that I was sleeping, like, yeah. And when I checked the maps, it was like lots of reserve next to me, so it's kind of, yeah, you are in the middle of lots of danger. Yeah, that's what wildlife experience.
You know, when you were toiling that story, you were saying about the villagers saying stay close to the village, don't keep going. Do you take that on board now? Like, have you found that if you're travelling in areas where you're maybe going to be seeing wildlife, are you more likely to stop riding earlier if you feel like you've got a safer place to stay?
In the next day, I had to also cycle in this place, and I arrived like at 4 o'clock in the village, and after that there is nothing also, and this area known by also elephants and lions. So I said, okay, I will stay in the safe side. I'm not going to go and take the risk to camp in the wild, and I know that there is lots of wildlife, and it's kind of, I'm alone. If something happened, I'm alone, and there is no signal there. So I just was lucky that I had signal and internet, so I could like manage to check with my friends what should I do. Yeah.
I can't even tell you how I would be, Meryem. Can I just say, I think even if I needed to pee, I don't know that I'd be brave enough to go outside my tent at 3 a.m. like you did that night.
Yeah, the same. I was like, oh, I hope they will not smell it, and they are kind of, oh, there is something here. There is something happening here. Yeah, it was scary and funny at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, animals mark their territory, don't they? So maybe that was you being able to mark yours.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like, animals like to.
Yeah. What about experience then of wildlife, which clearly you weren't in danger? You would have those experiences as well, and I don't know whether I'm thinking of giraffe or zebra, wildebeest, those sort of things. What other sort of animals have you encountered on your travels through Africa so far?
Yeah, I saw giraffe, springbok. I saw lots of animals, but in the widest one I saw, it was gorilla, elephants. So this is something chimpanzee, something like very special to see in the wild, like just cycling, and in the sudden you see that there is wildlife next to you. And like the first time I saw giraffe, it was the first time I saw a real giraffe, and they was like, oh, this is like a monument. Maybe they are just putting these monuments in the middle of nowhere, and then you see it's kind of moving. And wow, this is something like I was like surprised how it's huge and how it's different and how the color is very special, and it's kind of and it's nice when you see this one while you are doing something you love, you like, and you see the wildlife, and yeah, that's nice.
Just the idea that a giraffe from far away, it's so big, it must be like a big statue. And then you see it's moving. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Gorillas, seeing gorillas in Africa, that has to be an amazing experience. Where did you see them?
In Congo, Brazzaville.
Wow. Was that on like a hike to go and see them?
No, while cycling.
Whoa.
Yeah, while cycling. Yeah, when I was with Thomas, we went, I told you, deep in the rainforest of Cameroon, and for looking for the wildlife, like we went very deep. And then we tried to see if we could, we saw the footprints of the gorilla, the elephants, but we couldn't see anything. Thomas, he saw in one gorilla, but I didn't see it the first time. And then in the second time, we were cycling in Congo, and we lost hope. Like for us, we went deep into Cameroon to see these wild animals, but we didn't manage to see them. But in Congo, cycling, and we didn't expect to see anything. And then you see group of gorilla in the tree, and you see there were lots of them, and it was crazy experience to see like the gorilla for the first time in the wild, and then you stop to see them, they are just next to you, and it was very special moments in this journey.
Moments that you will never ever forget for sure.
No.
Pinch me moments where you go, wow, did I just experience that?
Yes, one of these moments is when I saw the gorilla, and it's also the same day when we saw the gorilla, Thomas, he saw elephants. So, and then he was kind of, oh, elephants. And we stopped and saw them. Okay, let's follow the elephants. He said, no, he went there and said, no, let's follow them, follow the elephants. And then while we are talking, he started to making this funky noise and playing with his, and we're like, oh my God, is this sign for attacking? And then took my bike to escape this, and then Thomas, he starts running, he keeps his bike there, and then we saw that he starts making the noise again, and we're like, oh my God, being attacked from elephants, it's just a dream, it's just real, like it was crazy also, like.
That would be scary, right? Because they could be dangerous really quickly, obviously.
Yeah, and they can run very fast, like, so it's not a joke.
Wow, I must admit, I've never actually thought of how fast they could actually be. I mean, they're huge, right? So, I mean, just if they stomp on you, that would be it.
Yeah, they run 40k in hour, like, so you have to be really fast to not be catched by elephants.
Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, the elephants.
Listeners, if you're planning a bike tour, a holiday, or maybe even heading to an event on the other side of the country, and you want to avoid the hassles of flying with your bike, then Bike Flights is a service well worth looking into. They specialise in bike shipping and making it easy to send your bike safely door to door, especially for international travel when, let's face it, flying with a box bike is stressful and can often feel like too much. There's a link in the show notes if you want to learn more, and if you do book through that link, it also helps support me and the podcast out at no extra cost to you. Okay, now back to the episode.
Are fast.
Listeners, my mind is just amazed. I'm just thinking, wow. I'm sure that you are too, listening to Meryem as well. Actually, this is something I really am interested in. Your social media handle is Meggy Lost, a play on the fact that you feel lost, that you're trying to find something about yourself, obviously. You've taken this monumental journey. I'd love to know, have you found answers to what you feel lost about? Like, why even choose that as a name for yourself?
So I will tell you, when I was hiking a lot, I was always lost. If you go with me to the mountain, you are sure that you're gonna be lost. Like all my friends, they know me. No, I can see the the path and say, no, let's go from this way, and you're gonna be lost. So if you follow me, you will be lost. And even in this journey, I remember one day I met someone and he told me, I don't know how you managed to make it to here with the from Casablanca with the bike, because I think I was lost in some place. So yeah, I'm making this Meggy lost not because I'm trying to find myself, but it's just because I'm always lost.
Okay, here I am thinking it's like this internal journey of looking for yourself, but it's actually you're just trying to get from point A to point B and you've lost your way. That leads me to questions about how you have decided which route to take, which roads to follow. But I'd like to know about a time when you were lost then on this journey and what sense of misadventure occurred for you there, trying to find your way from point A to B, getting lost along the way, and what happened?
Yeah, it's kind of when you are lost, you have two options: is to go back to get to the good road you want to take, or just following the same road and let's see where it's gonna take. It's just kind of in this journey. I'm not making myself and pushing myself for something like, oh, I'm lost. I have to be very stressful about this. If I still have time, and I'm having always time, if I'm not running from the visa, why I will make myself like stressful? Okay, I'm not in a contact with the road, so okay, I'm already lost. Like, let's see if there's any detour, because I don't like to go back from the same road. So it's rather to get one more 100 kilometers than going back 30 kilometers to get to the good roads.
Oh, wow. Well, so sometimes in being lost, you've just added extra kilometres on your journey because you do not like going back.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had to do that? Have you had to turn back on yourself?
Yeah, lots of times. Yeah. Lots of times.
You've also taken long detours to not have to do that as well.
Yeah, but it's kind of, when I'm in this journey, it's like not I need to go from A to B, passing by like from A to D and passing B and C, and I have this. It's kind of I'm moving. For me, it's every day. It's new experience, meeting new peoples. It's not specific place that I want to visit or specific. Sometimes you have this, but there is lots of days that you don't have to care about this. It's just keep moving, like keep cycling, meeting new peoples, and that's it. It's not like, okay, I need to go from here to pass by here. Like, it's kind of just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. As you say, you're on a long journey. Are you even lost? You could even say, are you lost when you've taken a different way? Because nowhere is specifically where you're heading other than a general direction. In an interesting way, you are generally heading south and now you're generally heading north, aren't you?
Yeah. So it's kind of not really lost. It's kind of you are having a new place to visit that you didn't expect to see.
Something else that happens for people who take these long journeys, and you've talked about it as well, is meeting other people who are also taking long journeys. So you've obviously met other bike travellers while you've been riding here on the road too. Have you had many encounters with other people taking their own bike adventures? Like, have you met a lot of bike travellers through Africa so far?
No. I met some people in Mauritania. I cycled one day with one woman, and in Gambia, there is a guy that I met. I met him in the borders between Morocco and Mauritania, but we didn't cycle together. We met in the guest house, and then I had different roads, so I didn't cycle with him. And then in Gambia, I think we cycled 4 days together, and that's it. And after that, I didn't meet lots of cyclists. It's just, if I meet them, it's kind of we are messaging each other, but we don't have the same roads or something. It was 2 people that I met. I think one in Angola, Spanish, coming from Spain, but he's coming from the east, and other one also coming from the east in Namibia, Windhoek. And in South Africa, I met another cyclist. We cycled together 4 days, and that's it, but not lots. And Thomas, it's the cyclist I met that we cycle on and off. And I have two friends. I know them since Morocco. It's a Moroccan and Moroccan guy and Tunisian girl. And we were always in contact. We stayed in Benin for 2 weeks and in other countries together, but we didn't cycle together. I cycled with Rehab 2 days in South Africa, I think, few days ago, for 2 days. That's it. But I believe that in East Africa, I will meet more people than the West Coast.
Do you enjoy riding with other people as well?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's good. It's good to see how people they travel. It's how different they are living their journey, and that's it. But sometimes you miss your own company, and sometimes people don't react good with the locals, and so it's make me just don't want to give company to these people. So yeah. But otherwise, it's always good to see how people they travel, to have some company, how they think.
Yeah, because everybody travels very differently. And it's also, different distances, different decisions on roads. You were talking about you don't like cooking, so you like eating just what's available. Other people would be wanting to cook their own meals. So there's differences like that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's very different. Like, it's not, I don't like to travel with people because they are not as good as I am, but I can be that's bad. I like coffee. So if I see a coffee shop, I have to stop to get coffee. It's if you are with someone, maybe you will not like to stop every time to get a coffee. For me, I'm enjoying my coffee, so I would love to drink my coffee, even if I will drink four in one day.
Meryem, I am so with you there. If we are ever on a road that's the same, we could definitely ride together. I will always be the person that will be happy to stop and have 4 coffees in a day. I will not complain.
Yeah, when I met the cyclist in South Africa, we were always enjoying stopping in the coffee. He was enjoying also stopping for coffee. So I was like, okay, it's not a problem then. Like, we always stop for coffee shop because South Africa, they had very good coffee shops.
I love learning these little insights about different countries. So South Africa is good for coffee.
Yeah, even in Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Cameroon, they have coffee. But the best one was in Ivory Coast. Everywhere you find this locals coffee. It costs 20 cents. You had very good coffee everywhere with the Italian machine, the Ivory Coast beans. Very good. No problem.
Lovely. Oh, coffee lovers, there's some places in Africa there to get your hit. Can I ask, Meryem, you've been on the road for so long and you've talked about this desire for human connections. You love being with people, around people. There's an element where the people that you love the most, you're away from in your family and your friends. How has it been to be away from those people for so long?
Yeah, it's not easy. Like, I had lots of people that I love in Morocco. I was always enjoying my time with them, and they have a lot of friends that we used to travel a lot. But life is about sacrifice. You cannot have everything in once. If you want to do this, you have to sacrifice your time with your family and your friends. You cannot have just the positive things of everything. Yeah, you have to make some sacrifice, and yeah, this is the bad things about this journey, that you are always far away from your friends and family and people you love, the place you used to go every time. Yeah.
I always say it's not always blue sky and rainbows on this journey. There are tough times as well, and the good comes with the bad, and the happy times come with sad times. Have you ever felt lonely or so sad, or maybe just so tired of this type of travel that you've wanted to just stop? Has that ever been something you've thought about?
No. I have been tired, stressful, sad, lonely sometimes, but I never think about ending this journey. Or
it just shows just not so much your focus, but even in those moments, what you're doing, you feel it's greater than those moments in a way. It reminds me, there was a quote I read from you, Meryem, You were in the desert and you said, riding my bike in the desert, I felt amazed by how big and beautiful nature was. It made me feel small and insignificant, but also part of something greater than myself. And I imagine those are the sort of things that you're feeling that make you want to keep going forward as well.
Yeah, sure. Like there's lots of things happening in this journey that makes you want to go, not stopping, and also like the things that seeing always something new, like seeing the how different this planet and different the countries in the same continent are, and also like inspiring lots of people. Like for a few days ago, I got a message from a girl. She's a Moroccan. She cycled like for 800 kilometers, and she texted me. She said, you were a big inspiration for me, and I used to show your videos to my mother to tell her, okay, see, she's a girl, she's traveling alone. And when I was in my journey, lots of people, they mentioned you, they said that you are traveling and everything, and that's make you just want to keep going, not thinking about your lowest moments in this journey, because you are giving lots of power and aspiration for lots of people. So why would I just stop?
That's got to be so nice to be aware of that happening as well. There's people I've interviewed where after the fact their story has been available to people and then they've become an inspiration for someone. But to know that you're inspiring someone while you're still taking that inspirational journey yourself, that's pretty special.
Yeah, it's true, and it's always for me. It's not. I'm always receiving messages that's okay, Miriam, I just bought new bike. Miriam, I just cycled from here to Mauritania, and your videos are always motivation for me from some guys, and I was always making me happy, like to giving some hope to other people. That's okay. I'm always saying if I can do it, like why I will not do it.
I love that you're aware of this. I think that's extra special as well. As you look ahead towards Tanzania, and the road is uncertain how you'll go. We spoke at the very start of the show that you don't know which countries you'll be able to enter with visa restrictions and with border crossings that come up. But if you could pretend that that wasn't in the way, what are you looking forward to the most that is still to come?
I don't know. I don't have something specific. I'm still looking for more locals experience to see how different people are from place to place. Yeah, that's kind of something I'm looking forward for it. I'm looking also for some mountains, and that's it.
I love that you're looking forward to mountains because I'm a mountain lover as well, Meryem. So I feel like we're kindred souls. We are the same there. We love coffee and we love mountains.
Yes.
Meryem, something that I like asking all of my guests is I like them to be able to share with me and the listeners one day of their trip. And it can be from any day in any country. Anything could have happened. It could be a happy day. It could be a crazy day. It could be a day where you felt the highest of elations. It could be a day that really challenged you. Or it could just be an ordinary day. But I would like you now to think about and share with us what it was like on one day of your trip.
Okay, I will choose one day in Nigeria. So I was cycling with Thomas. So we said, okay, we met in Benin. We said we will cycle to Nigeria together since it's kind of dangerous country. And we just crossed from Benin to Nigeria. And we know the story about you have lots of checkpoints from the border to Lagos. So we said, okay, we will not stop in this checkpoint. We will just drive fast as we can, and we're gonna stop just for the immigration. Yeah, we start like just moving, and they scream on us, and we are like, oh, hello, my friend, how are you? And it was so funny. And then I think I can't even remember how many checkpoints we passed to get out from this border place, like in 60K. And we arrived to some place, we eat this very spicy food of Nigeria, and then I asked the contacts I have in Lagos if it's still safe to cycle, like even if it's late. They said no, it's better to not cycle because it's gonna be dark and it's not safe to cycle when it's dark here. So we just found the hotel there in the place where we stopped, like not far from Lagos. And then this woman that we bought from her the food, she said there is hotel there. We went there and then we opened the first gate, the second gate. You see the building is like something, there is no one there, and you see two people, they are sitting with beers and they see us. You feel like, oh, if I'm kidnapped today or what's happening. And then we saw that there is a bar and the swimming pool there, so we went there, and the manager, I asked him if I can get SIM card. He went with me and he was taking me from my hand like 6 years old, because he was catching me to the place where when I get the SIM card. We went back to the hotel and they said, you don't have to open the room to anyone. There is some people dangerous in the hotel, so please don't open. Even if it's me, don't open at night. And they were like, if I'm going to hotel to like a safe place, or you are telling me there is criminals here. So we see it's the time when you see what I'm doing here. If it's really like good idea from me to be in the place where everyone told me not to be. But then it's turned to be one of the amazing countries that I crossed. Since the traffic, it's crazy, it's not bad, and we just lost one of the amazing cyclists I was chatting with in Nigeria a few days ago. And it's make you feel sad that traffic people can kill easily one person that had a dream and had living his best life, and then just because they were driving crazy to win some minutes to get to their place. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm get out from one day from my journey to one bad days of the cycling community.
It's really poignant though, isn't it? Like you said, we've lost a beautiful person in our cycling community.
Yeah.
It feels so insignificant. Why as well? I can't imagine what it's like to feel lost for someone while you're doing what they were doing. I've certainly lost good friends in cycling accidents before, and it really has hit me very hard and very deeply, because you know what that vulnerability is like yourself, because you do it yourself as well.
Yeah.
There are no nice answers to these feelings either. It's just really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you see that you are doing the same thing, and you see that people, that it can be you. And Joan was very nice guy. You know, we were in contact. He was about to start before me, and we were always in contact. He was always texting me to tell me, how do you feel about this country? Are you good? And he was following my road in some place. And in Nigeria, when I asked him what's your road, he said, I'm going from Abuja to the borders. I'm not adventurous as you to go north. And you see that even if he was trying to be in the safe parts of the journey, he was, yeah, so it's his destiny. You never know. It can happen to him even if he's next to his house. But yeah, it's very sad to see people like losing life like this because of crazy drivers, because one of the most dangerous thing about Africa is the main roads with all the trucks and people driving crazy. Yeah, that's it.
And I guess that plays into, Meryem, why you really try to stay off the main roads when you're taking the smallest roads sometimes. And is that why? Is it to try and avoid all those trucks and those traffic?
It's one of the reasons. It's also like when you take the small roads, it's less tourists, and when you have less tourists, you have the authentic experience with locals. It's not like they are used to tourists. They see you just like money, and so it's always having a good experience when you are going to a place where there is no tourists.
That is a fantastic reason. It's always really hard when you share about places that you've been where it is off the tourist trail, because in sharing it becomes part of the tourist trail as well. But to know that you are finding ways of having great authentic experiences on this journey, which is really, as you said, why you wanted to do this in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, Meryem, people are going to listen to your adventure and want to keep following along and see what plays out for you. As I've mentioned a few times, you are active on social media and you are sharing your story. If people want to find you online, where can they find out more about you and your journey?
They can find me on Instagram or YouTube, and I have a blog, but I'm not updating very fast on it. So yeah, they can just tap Megilos and then they will find my social media and everything about my journey.
Fantastic. And listeners, I will be providing links in the show notes to all of those ways of keeping up with Meryem's adventures so that you can see this adventure unfold. And I definitely invite you, when you do follow her, scroll back and actually see where she's been. Meryem, I'm astounded by it. And I did ask you before I pressed record, do you ever look back at where you started and go, wow, did I come here by bike? It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes you see how far I went and with the bike. Ooh.
I want to know then, Meryem, before I wrap things up, what have you learnt the most so far? Reflecting back, you've come such a long way. You still personally want to go a lot further. But what are the biggest lessons you've learnt so far?
I think to not take the life so seriously. So you just take it easy, be patient, and everything gonna be all right, and everything have solution. And if I have to take it like I'm always saying, it is what is it. So if something happened, I'm not going to change it. It's happened already. So it's rather having a solution or looking for a new one or just moving forward, because this is life. It's not just always making myself like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why I didn't this? This is, I think, something I learned, to be very patient about what's going on my life.
Have you learnt to be patient? Would you have said that you were a patient person before you set out, or that is something that you've changed about yourself?
Oh, there is something changed. Like, I wasn't like this before. Now it's more and more, and yeah.
Lessons from the road. I love that, because I feel really strongly, Meryem, that people can't take these long journeys without changing, and that obviously it's a change that you've noticed. And it will be amazing to think when I'm believing that you're going to get to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro and you will finish this trip as you wish to. And I can only imagine what other changes are going to happen along the road as well. So, Meryem, as I look to wrap the show up, there are 3 quick questions which I finish with, and I ask it of all my guests. The first one is music related. And as a guest of Seek Travel Ride, you get to go on the Seek Travel Ride music playlist, which is available on Spotify and Apple Music now. If you had to choose a song to be the soundtrack to your adventure, what song would you choose?
Okay. I think I will choose Take Me Home, Country Roads. The country road, take me home to the place. Yeah.
I like it. And country roads, like, they're the roads you want to be on, right?
Yeah.
I must say, while we're talking about music, it is something I've noticed about you with your Instagram posts. Often your captions are actually from a song, and I really love that. So I'm guessing listening to music is something that you do a lot of?
Yeah, I cannot ride without making music or something. I need music always.
Well, if you want another playlist, the Seek Travel Ride music playlist is there for you, and every song on it, Meryem, is chosen by someone like you, someone who's taken a huge bike adventure.
Okay.
So each song will take you on their adventures as well. It's about, it's nearly 5 hours long, so it's there for a long day's listen.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay, final 2 questions, Meryem. If you had the choice to make that one day you would be cycling up a forever constant, never-ending, really steep hill climb, or on the other hand, you could be on a flat road but be pedaling into a never-ending, constant, really strong headwind, which one would you choose?
Of course, the mountain. August is the windy month of South Africa, and I'm dealing with heavy, strong wind every day, so I will never choose headwind, even if it's forever mountains climbing.
How could a mountain lover not choose a day climbing mountains, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whoa, okay. I knew that was going to be the answer. All right, last question, Meryem. One day you're given the choice. You're only riding for 4 hours and you get to choose. Are you going to ride for 4 hours on your own or 4 hours with other people? Which one would you choose?
So it's only 4 hours. I think I will choose to be with people.
I love that. The amount of people who clearly like riding on their own but can tolerate riding with others because it's only 4 hours. Yeah. I think you've joined a distinct list of long-distance travellers there, Meryem.
Yeah, it's only 4 hours. I cannot be sick of people in 4 hours, so it's going to be okay. Let's enjoy the company. It's always good to be with someone.
Yeah, and you're out there on this tour for more human connections, right? So that's all about what this adventure of yours is all about.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Meryem Belkihel, I have had an amazing time chatting with you and learning some small insights into this huge journey. You say yourself that you're a small person, but you are taking on big things. You've done big things and you are inspiring so many other people. I have loved learning about the motivations behind your journey, knowing that you're out there to learn more, to see more, have those amazing human connections. You've had some intense wildlife experiences. I'm not sure how I would go being chased by an elephant or having lions around my tent in the middle of the night. And yet you've gone through all of this, and what really comes across is you're really looking forward to what's coming next. You've learnt patience to just give in to whatever occurs, to say, c'est la vie, whatever will be, but you are heading north. May the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro greet you with an amazing vista when you get there. Thank you so, so much for sharing your story and experiences here on the show for Seek Travel Ride.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, I also enjoyed sharing my story to you and the people they will listen to this podcast. And yeah, thank you so much.
So listeners, there you have it. Yet another amazing, inspiring woman taking on such a massive adventure. I have loved every single aspect of Meryem's story there. And the joy that she tells it as well. Can you just transport yourself to what it would have been like in the tent that night, surrounded by lions, Googling, what do I do if there are lions outside? And then what about that moment where you're wondering, oh my gosh, there's an elephant about to charge us? Again, on the topic of wildlife, just the hilarity of seeing a giraffe so far in the distance you think it's a monument, and then you see the monument move and realise, my goodness, this is the first time I've seen a giraffe in the wild. But Meryem's experiences are so much more than those wildlife interactions. She's had some amazing human interactions. She's been able to experience the heart and soul of Africa, Mother Africa, as she called it, and is what she sought out when she left her home in Morocco. I truly hope that she's able to get through the visa and border issues and continue her journey all the way to Tanzania and to summit Mount Kilimanjaro. And I definitely welcome you to follow her to see how this adventure will play out for her. Thanks so much, Meryem, for being on the show. Now, if you're a fan of Seek Travel Ride and you want to keep up to date with everything that is happening on the podcast, make sure that you subscribe to our Seek Travel Ride newsletter. In it, I put up a little preview of which guests I've interviewed and are to come, what their stories are going to be all about, and I also share a lot of news from the community as well. So make sure to sign up to the newsletter. I have provided a link in the show notes to make it as easy as possible. And you too can get Seek Travel Ride news delivered straight to your inbox. Until the next episode, I'm Bella Malloy. Thanks for listening. A big thanks to Red White Apparel for supporting this episode of the podcast. Their bib shorts have made a real difference to how I feel on the bike hour after hour after hour. They're comfy, smartly designed, and I no longer spend hours shifting around on the saddle trying to find a position that will work for me. You can find a link to Red White Apparel in the show notes. Click on the link and support the brands that support the podcast.